Close your eyes for a second and picture this. You wake up tomorrow morning feeling completely different. Not dragged out of sleep by an alarm. Not immediately reaching for your phone. Not already behind before the day has even started. Instead alert. Clear, genuinely ready. Not because everything in your life is perfect, but because you have claimed the first moments of your day deliberately. You have given yourself something most people never do, a foundation. Now open your eyes, because the version of the morning I just described is not a fantasy reserved for people with perfect schedules or unlimited willpower. It is the result of 7 specific habits, practical, proven, and grounded in the same philosophy that guided some of history's most extraordinary human beings through some of history's most demanding circumstances. The Stoics understood something that most modern productivity content misses entirely. Your morning is not just the beginning of your day, it is the construction of the person who will live the rest of it. How you spend the first 60 minutes shapes your mind, your mood, your decision-making, your resilience. Everything that follows depends on what you build in those first moments. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, his private journal, never intended for anyone else's eyes. When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. He wrote this not as poetry, as a reminder to himself, because even he, Emperor of Rome, had mornings where the last thing he wanted to do was get up and face the weight of the day, and yet he did every day. Through the same 7 kinds of practices we are about to cover. If what we are doing here resonates, if taking back your morning feels like something you have been needing, there is a simple favor I want to ask. Hit subscribe. It helps this channel reach more people who need this message, and it means you will not miss a single video. Now, let us get into it. Habit 1. Rise before the world arrives, and use the silence. Let me be honest with you about something most people will not admit. The snooze button is not your friend. It feels like one. In the moment, that warm, half-conscious negotiation with the alarm, it feels like an act of self-care. Just 5 more minutes. You deserve the rest. But here is what those 5 minutes are actually costing you. The first thing you do in the morning sends a signal to your brain, to your nervous system, to the deepest part of your psychology that tracks whether you keep promises to yourself. And when the very first act of your day is a negotiation with your own intention, a small surrender to the comfort that was already available, that signal compounds. It says, today, like yesterday, your impulses will run things. The Stoics understood that discipline is not something you summon when the stakes are high. It is something you build in the moments when the stakes feel too low to matter. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." The dread of the early morning, the exhaustion you predict, the misery you anticipate, is almost always worse than what actually arrives when you get up. The reality of being awake, quiet, in the stillness, before the world makes its demands, is almost always different from the story you told yourself in bed. Waking up even 30 minutes earlier than usual is not about suffering more. It is about owning a window that the world cannot reach. No one is emailing you at 5 a.m. No one is demanding your attention. No notification has been engineered by a billion-dollar company to pull you into reaction mode. Just you. And time that is entirely yours. Use it to plan, to read, to think, to simply be present before the day begins asking you to perform. That quiet window, protected by the discipline of getting up when you said you would, is where the day is actually won. Not in the meetings or the tasks or the outcomes, in the foundation you lay before any of that begins. Drop this below if you are committing to your mornings. I own my mornings. I rise with intention. The day does not start without me. Habit 2. Hydrate. Before anything else, it is discipline in a glass. Most people wake up and immediately reach for coffee. I understand, I genuinely do. There is something about first cup that feels like a ritual, like permission to be fully human again. But here is a simple, unsexy, completely underrated truth about your body. After 7 or 8 hours of sleep, you are dehydrated. Your brain has been running its overnight processes without any fluid replenishment. And the first thing it needs, before caffeine, before food, before anything, is water. Not because this is a wellness trend, because your brain is over 70% water, and when it is depleted, everything suffers. Attention, memory, mood, the quality of every thought you will have for the first hour of your day. Starting with a full glass of water before anything else is not complicated. But it is conscious, and that is exactly the point. Epictetus taught, progress is not achieved by luck or accident, but by working on yourself daily. This is that. A daily act of working on yourself, so small it seems insignificant, and so consistent it becomes one of the most reliable signals you send to your own mind, that you choose what serves you before you choose what comforts you. That discipline is not reserved for the hard things. It lives in the small ones too. Your coffee will still be there in 5 minutes. But the version of yourself that chose the water first, that version is sharper, clearer, and already operating from a different standard than the one who stumbled straight to the machine. Small choice. Enormous signal. Write this below if you are starting the water habit today. Water first, clarity first. I choose what serves me before I choose what comforts me. Habit 3. Guard the first hour. Your phone can wait. Your morning is not just valuable, it is vulnerable. In those first quiet minutes, before the mind has fully engaged, before your defenses are up in tension for who you are going to be today, you are remarkably susceptible to whatever gets in first. And most of us, in that susceptible state, hand the first moments of our consciousness directly to the most attention-optimized, engagement-engineered, neurologically sophisticated distraction tools ever created, our phones. Think about what actually happens in those first minutes of scrolling. Someone else's crisis, someone else's opinion, breaking news designed to spike cortisol, an image carefully curated to make your ordinary life feel inadequate, an algorithm that has been studying your psychological vulnerabilities for years and is extraordinarily good at exploiting them before you are fully awake, and you call that catching up. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Your phone is the primary gateway through which outside events invade your mind before you have chosen to let them in. Delaying that first scroll, even by 30 minutes, is not a small thing. It is a declaration that your mind belongs to you first, that the first thoughts of your day are yours to choose, that you will not be shaped by whatever the algorithm decided was most engaging this morning before you have had the chance to decide who you are going to be. Trade the scroll for 5 minutes of silence, for a page of something meaningful, for simply sitting with a cup of water, and of what a genuinely rare thing it is to have a morning that has not started yet. You will feel the difference immediately, and so will everyone who interacts with you today, because they will be meeting the version of you that chose presence over reaction before the day began. Drop this if you are taking your mornings off the algorithm. My first thoughts belong to me, not to a feed, not to a notification, to me. Habit 4. Move your body, even for 10 minutes. There is a specific kind of morning fog that no amount of coffee actually fixes. The kind where your mind is technically awake, but your body has not caught up yet. Where you are sitting at your desk or your kitchen table, technically present, technically ready, but operating at maybe 60%. Foggy, slow, reactive rather than deliberate. And the fastest, most reliable way out of that state is not another caffeine hit. It is movement. Not a full workout. Not a training session that requires 45 minutes and a gym membership. 10 minutes. That is all. Some squats. A walk around the block. 10 minutes of stretching that gets the blood moving and the nervous system engaged. Because Here is what happens when you move your body in the morning. Your brain receives a signal from the body it lives in that says we are active, we are present, we are here and capable of effort. And that signal changes everything about how you engage with the next hour. Epictetus wrote, "No great thing is created suddenly. Your energy is not an exception. It is not turned on by a single dramatic act. It is built slowly, consistently, day by day, by the small decisions to activate before the day demands it." And here is what most people miss about morning movement. It is not about fitness. It is about the message. Every time you choose to move when your body would prefer stillness, every time you do the 10 minutes before excuses have had a chance to make their case, you are sending a message to the deepest part of your psychology. I am in charge here. Not my comfort, not my impulses, me. That message, sent every morning through the simple act of physical activation, compounds into a quality of self-trust that no motivational content has ever produced. Drop this if you are committing to moving every morning. I move before I make excuses. My body is awake, and so is my intention. Habit 5, write it down. Empty the mind before the day fills it. Most people carry the weight of yesterday into today without ever setting it down. The unresolved conversation, the worry that has no solution yet, the idea that arrived at 11 p.m. and is still rattling around, looking for somewhere to land. The list of things that need doing that has been living in your head since before you went to sleep. All of it, sitting in your mind, taking up space, demanding background processing, even when you are trying to focus on something else entirely. Journaling is not a creative exercise or a personality type. It is the most practical mental tool available for clearing that space before the day asks you to fill it with something new. 5 minutes, a pen and whatever paper is nearby. No rules, no format, no audience. Just write what is there. The worry, the idea, the thing you said yesterday that you are still replaying, the thing you want to do today. Whatever is sitting in the space between yesterday and now. Write it down and it stops being background noise. It becomes something visible, something you can look at, evaluate, and decide what to do with, rather than something that runs quietly beneath everything else all day. Marcus Aurelius understood this better than anyone. The Meditations, the private journal we still read 2,000 years later, was never intended for publication. It was simply one man writing to himself every morning to clear his mind, examine his principles, and prepare to meet the day from the inside out. He wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." That kind of clarity does not arrive by accident. It is produced by the habit of writing things down, of making the interior visible before the exterior makes its demands. 5 minutes every morning. Watch what it does to the quality of your thinking for the rest of the day. Drop this below if you are starting the journaling habit. I write it down. I clear the space. I meet the day from a clean starting point. Habit 6, feed your mind deliberately. Choose what shapes you. Your mind is hungry the moment you wake up. It wants input. It wants direction. It is scanning, actively, automatically, for something to attach to, something to process, something to build its first thoughts of the day around. And whatever gets in, first, gets the foundation for everything that follows. Most people, without realizing they are making a choice at all, feed that hungry morning mind with noise, outrage, comparison. The lowest quality content the algorithm served up while they were still half asleep. And then they wonder why the day feels scattered before it even begins. Seneca wrote, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you." In the context of your morning, that means choosing the content that enters your mind the way you would choose the people you spend time with. Does it make you sharper, calmer, more grounded in what actually matters? Or does it spike anxiety, fuel comparison, and send you into the day already reactive? 10 pages of something meaningful. A book, a philosophy, a biography of someone who built something real under real pressure. will do more for the quality of your morning than an hour of passive scrolling ever will. This is not about becoming a rigid intellectual. It is about understanding that you are being shaped every single morning by whatever you consume first. The question is whether you are choosing what shapes you or letting the algorithm choose for you. Marcus Aurelius chose, "Every morning, before the empire arrived, you can too." Drop this if you are choosing your morning input deliberately from today. I choose what enters my mind first. I feed it substance. I build from there. Habits and see the day before you live it. Visualization is not fantasy, it is preparation. Before the day makes its demands, before the first conversation, the first decision, the first moment where who you are is tested against what is happening, take 5 quiet minutes and see it first. Not perfectly, not as a daydream, as deliberate mental preparation. Close your eyes and walk through the day ahead. The meeting that might be difficult, the conversation you have been avoiding, the task that requires more focus than you have been giving it. See yourself in those moments not as the reactive version, but as the one you intend to be. How you stand, how you breathe, how you respond when the pressure arrives, rather than reacting from wherever the day finds you. This practice has a name in Stoic philosophy, and it has nothing to do with wishful thinking. It is about training the inner world, so the outer one does not shake you so easily. Epictetus said, "Practice yourself, for heaven's sake, in little things, and then proceed to greater." Visualization is that practice. You are rehearsing the version of yourself that knows what to do before the situation requires it. Athletes have understood this for decades. The performance that looks effortless from the outside is almost always the result of mental repetition that happened long before the moment arrived. The same principle applies to your day. 5 minutes of seeing the day clearly, seeing how you want to show up, how you want to handle what is coming, is not time taken from preparation. It is the preparation, and the version of you that meets the day, having already been there, even briefly, even in the quiet of the morning, is a fundamentally different version from the one who arrived unprepared. Drop this if you are committing to seeing your day before you live it. I see the day before I live it. I prepare the inside before the outside makes its demands. 7 habits. Rise before the world arrives, and use the silence. Hydrate before anything else. Discipline in a glass. Guard the first hour, your phone can wait. Move your body, even 10 minutes changes everything. Write it down, clear the space before the day fills it. Feed your mind deliberately, choose what shapes you. See the day before you live it. Preparation, not fantasy. None of these require a perfect schedule. None of them need extraordinary willpower or a complete lifestyle overhaul. They need one thing, the decision, made tonight for tomorrow morning, that you are going to give the first part of your day to yourself. Not to the algorithm, not to other people's urgency, not to the reactive, distracted, already behind version of yourself that most mornings have been producing, to the deliberate version, the one that was built, habit by habit, morning by morning, in the quiet before the world arrived. That version is available to you. It has always been available. It was simply waiting for you to claim the morning. Start tomorrow. This is Stoic Blueprint, built for the ones who are ready to win the day before it even begins. There is a video on the screen right now that will take this even further. I will see you there.